Good morning, everybody. It's Mark from MT Restorations again. I wanted to continue on with our project, the Lionel passenger set, the 614, 615, 613. This is episode 5, I believe. If you remember, it's been a few days or about a week since I've done anything on this project. Did a couple other little things in between, but to catch up where we were when we started in the beginning, have this set of cars. So far we've taken all these cars and stripped them all down. We sandblasted these, got them to this state, took them all apart, and they're going to be ready for finishing. Made a decision over the last several days, and I picked the color and a scenario a scheme that we're going to stick with. So before I came on, we did a few of the cars already. This is what I chose. It may be hard to see the actual color, but it's called Sea Blue with black, and the body will be sea blue, and then the air tank basket underneath there will be black. And haven't picked the color yet for the windows and vestibule doors, the trims, but I'm probably going to do a cream color or an off-white type of thing. So again, we did 3 out of the 4 cars last several days, powder coated them. Again, I like that combination of colors. I have an engine and tender already done this way, a 249E engine and a tender, these colors, so it'll make a nice set when it's done. So again, sea blue, black, and then we'll probably have a cream colored for the trims. So what we're going to do today, here's the last car. It needs to be powder coated. We're going to prep those, and we're going to powder coat them. So just let me get focused over here on the table, and we will point down a little bit, excuse my reach, and we'll get this focused in on what we're going to do today. And I'll bring you in a little bit closer. How's that? That way you can see what I'm doing instead of me. Alright, so like I said, we're going to do these probably in a nice accent color, but we're going to do these 2 parts will be black, the air tanks and the roof, the main roof body, and then the accent color of the roof will be sea blue to match the car. So the next step for me is I picked off all the red paint. If you remember, these were red, and I used my dental tools, my little X-Acto knife, and we cleaned them all off, got all the paint off everywhere. And so now all we have to do is we're going to wash them down a little bit with some acetone. That gets all the handprints, fingerprints, and oils or whatever off the metal, and then what will be left is a nice clean surface for the powder coat process to stick well. I think I mentioned to you before about the powder coating process. You might have seen a couple of videos that I did a week or so back where we treated up an engine. We powder coated a couple pieces for you. Where we stand so far on this project, I took the liberty of powder coating some of the trucks. We're going to have black trucks on these cars, which I think will be great underneath here. I think it'll be a nice addition. I usually leave them natural metal, but I think for this project we'll do black. So I have all the trucks done already. I did those over the last couple days, and I did a video and I showed a couple of those things being done as well. So we got the trucks ready to go, and then once these are all set and cooled off, I'll be able to remount the clips that take the roof on and off from the latch. I'll mount those back on here, and then we'll start trimming out on probably our next video, because it's going to take a little bit of time to put all that stuff together. So again, we're going to do one thing at a time here real quick. I'm going to get my trusty acetone, get a portion on a rag. It's nice to wear gloves. It won't hurt your skin too much, but it does dry it out. Acetone evaporates very quickly. It takes off residue. So I just wipe these down real good. Even though they're clean and sanded and sandblasted and all that good stuff, you'll see that you'll get a lot of blackened material or dirty material off of here. You get the dirt off. You can see what was left on that metal. So we get these all wiped down real good. Then when we powder coat them, everything should be perfect. So a little bit more here. We're going to wipe down the air tanks that go underneath. You know, give it a good cleaning there. We don't want any imperfections. So we'll do that. Now, if you remember from the very beginning, we had a couple cars. They're really in good shape, damage-wise. There was no dents or dinghies on the cars. Very, very minor, if there was any. I think that one of the roofs have a little dimple here and there. You really can't tell until, you know, they get painted or powder coated. You see a little dimple, but you know, you got to remember these are close to 90 years old, so you're going to have wear. And some of them were rusted, and some were rusted pretty good. The roofs were rusted pretty well. Excuse me. And so you know, I blasted all that off, but we do have a little bit of pitting here. The powdered coat does cover a lot of it because it's actually a coating. So you may see a little bit of pitting here. I don't know how well you can see that, but this pitting will fill in some, and it is what it is. You know, trying to sand and sand and sand and get that out of there, sometimes you'll go right through the metal and create a little hole. So we don't want that. So again, it gives it a little bit of a antique finish, and so these are ready to go. We'll make some hooks for the powder coat box. That'll be the next thing we do. Also, since we talked last, I made a decision. We're going to go with a brass trims, and I went to my Parts Genius in New York, and I got all new brass parts for my trucks, the new journals. We got the handrails that go along the doors. They'll be brass, and the steps that go underneath. I got enough of those to go all brass there. I even bought some new light fixtures for inside the cars, and some new couplers. Because if you remember, the trucks and the couplers that we got originally on this, they were pretty bad. They weren't original, and they were kind of junky. So we took them all off, and we're going to put these back as much to factory conditions as they were back in the day. And so we have those parts to put on and trim out on the next video, next episode. So again, these are ready to go. Going to make some hooks here, and the same thing. I did the same thing onto the shell body. So this way we'll be able to hang that up and kind of keep it hanging level, hanging where it's centered. Because if you try to hang it by something else, I can use one of these spots or one of these spots, and then you have this situation, and it's not good. So try to find a center point to hang it while it's being powder coated and while it's cooking in the oven a little bit. So we have that one. Let me hang that one up here on my trusty hanger. That way we got that one done. And this one here, just as simple. What I did is, these had the latch that holds the clip. So you never see this part. It's always clipped around. So I drilled a little hole in that little top, that little clip. I drilled a little hole in it for the wire, and that made it pretty easy to keep it balanced as it's hanging. So we'll do that real quick. And this way we will we will have a car that's ready to hang. So with that said, the next step is going to be going over to the powder coat booth, which we'll do here in a moment, and then we'll pick this back up again. If you give me a couple minutes to get over there and put my camera on there, and then we'll do a little powder coating and match this up. Then we'll talk about the trims and how we're going to do that. So that'll be next. So give me a minute. I'll see you then. Okay, we're back over here at the powder coat booth, and we're going to be doing the top roof strip, accent strip, and the body of the car. So got my sea blue, got my hair connected up, and got my switch. I think we're ready to go. So, little hose here, hit down on my button, see how it sticks? Does a pretty nice job. Just wave it around a little bit, make sure we get it all the way around, and once you see it looks like it's a pretty good coat, take a look at it, see if we got enough on the back. And I just want to hit a little bit over here on the corner. And it looks like we'll be all set. I usually use my needle nose to grab it with. That way it kind of keeps me from getting all hung up and getting powder coat on me and bumping into it with my arm. I'll make sure we got underneath there taken care of well. Sometimes I'll do that with a flashlight just to make sure that we got good coverage on all the edges. We do. So this one's ready for the oven. We got the body of the car. We're going to put this in here, hang it up, get some power switch. Now this is going to be a little harder. We got to make sure we get it inside, outside. We've got a lot of nooks and crannies on here, so we're going to just shake it around, load it up best we can, and we're going to have to spin it around a little bit and make sure we get the other back side, but make sure you get nice coverage over top of this whole piece. Looks good from this side. Looks like we got it pretty good. I'm going to spin this around a little bit and rehang it. And gingerly, we don't want to bump it into anything, especially my hand. So you can see we have silver showing inside and outside. So we're going to load this up. Next, what we want to do is check the bottom. Make sure we got good coverage on the bottom. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need to do a little bit on the bottom. So make sure we got enough powder in here. There we go. All right. So we got a good coverage on that one now. I can just about guarantee you there. So I'm going to pop this one in the oven as well and position them in a good spot. And I'm going to make sure that we're all set to go. So give me a minute. I'm going to get the oven prepared. We'll put these cars in, and what we'll do is take a second here to get situated, and we'll be right back while they're cooking in the oven. Okay, we're back. Got these in the oven, ready to go. Normally I would have the oven heating up already while I'm powder coating. That way I can open the door and kind of put them in the rack while it's fairly hot in there. But I just wanted to keep the door open for a minute and show you. Light's probably not as bright as it could be, but you can see the pieces inside dangling there ready to go. So what we'll do is close it up, turn it up to 450, turn my timer on, lights on, we're cooking. So it'll only take about 10 minutes, and after those are done, it'll turn to a liquid. That powder coat gets so hot at 450 degrees it actually will go and liquefy. So when the rule of thumb is when you see it start to flow, turn the heat down and then just let it sit in there for 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and then it's done. And you can open the door, let them cool off. As soon as they're cool enough to handle, they're all set to go. You could start to reassemble them or do whatever you have to do to them. So that's why I like the powder coat process. It doesn't take long. There's a lot of colors to choose from, and the powder coat process is a harder, more durable finish than paint. It doesn't scratch as easy, so it will take a little bit more of a beating. And in trains, it's kind of, you almost need to have that. There's a lot of bumping into each other. Some of them come off the track, so they get damaged fairly easy. I've had pretty good luck with the powder coating system. So we'll let these cook a little bit, and they'll get molten here in a couple minutes. So I don't know if we'll be able to see that well, but we'll try to show you that process when it starts to happen. That way you can see what it looks like when it starts to liquefy. So we'll give it a minute or two just to update you on where we're at with this project. And once we get these, this will be the final body pieces. I'll do the top of the roof and the air tanks in black. I have the black powder coat set up as well, the black gun, so you don't need to see that happen as well. I don't want to waste your time there, but we'll put this in. We'll show you how that goes. I'll do the black pieces, and then what I'm going to do is clean up my booth a little bit, and then what we'll do, we're going to pick a color for the trims, the windows, the vestibules, those kind of parts. So like I said, I think a cream color or a white or an off-white would be nice contrast with the colors I have now, and that's what we'll shoot for. We'll go with, and then I'll show you that process of putting those in the powder booth and powder coat those up, and then they'll be ready for assembly. And that'll probably be our next episode, is finish powder coating the trims and then doing some of the assembly work with all the new parts we have. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's about ready to turn. Yeah, it hasn't been long, and it's starting to liquefy already. So don't know if you can see that at all or very well, but it's actually getting glossy, and looks like the coverage is pretty good, pretty uniform, and it's turning to liquid. So that is the powder coat process. Once that liquefies like it is, both pieces are gone to the liquid side. So what we're going to do is, I'll just turn the heat down some, let them sit in there. I'll move my timer down to about 8 minutes or so, and then we'll let that cook the rest of the way, and then it'll be done. I think the cars are going to be great when they're all finished and trimmed out, and that'll be our next show. Thanks. See you then. This is Mark from MT Restorations. If you have any comments or questions, please give me an email, MT.TrainRestorations, all one word, at gmail.com, or leave some comments on my comment page on YouTube. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.